Okay, we're gonna carve a face into this piece of wood here. This is a 2 by 2 by 4, and I like to use the corner because it sticks out and you can carve into it without having to remove quite as much material, especially when it comes to the nose. So first thing we're gonna do is just make a cut right here. We're gonna cut in, make sort of a V cut here, and remove some of this. And this will be sort of the bridge of the nose right here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut in a little straighter down here. And we can sort of shape this back later on, but for now, let's just block it out. Okay, so you got these two cuts here. You can already see this is going to be the nose. Now let's remove this right here, because this is sort of the forehead brow line area. Okay, so we've got this here. Let's remove a little bit more down underneath the nose. Now obviously the nose isn't going to be just a pointed pyramid like it is here. So let's take a little bit off of that. Okay. And if we take off too much, we can always remove a little bit more from up here to get the nose a little more prominent. Let's straighten this out a little bit. So now let's take and cut the corners of the bottom of the nose. Cut these back. Okay, something like this. Square that up a little bit more. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this right here. That's good enough for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to shape the sides of the nose. We're going to come in real deep here. And then we're going to cut this away. Okay. This will sort of outline the nose and where it goes. Make sure you make a nice deep cut there. Okay. And then let's sort of round these off right here. And then we'll take and make this a little bit flatter. Okay. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get the mouth, the upper lip cut in here. So let's just make a V cut here. You can see that that's starting to form a little bit. This chin's a little big, a little pointy. So we'll take that down a little bit. Okay. Starting to form there. Let's make this mouth actually even a little wider by providing another cut on either side. Okay. Maybe even a little more here. Now, we're going to want to get this line here to sort of show those corner lines in the mouth. So let's do another cut like that. Dig that part out like a V cut like that. Okay. And we'll do the same on the other side. We can go the opposite direction if we want. And cut this part out. There we go. Make sure you go nice and deep there, because that's the way that you won't have all the mess inside. Okay. Okay, that's coming along. Now, We need to show the brow line, wherever that's going to go, and we'll just say it's right here. So we'll do another cut like this. And we'll take away some of this material. Now we have to define where the eyes are going to go. So let's dig away. Sort of shape as we go and figure out where on this thing the eyes are going to go. So somewhere around right here. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to sort of hollow this area out, okay? Each side up here. And we want to get these cheekbones. We want to get these cheekbones to kind of come out. And then we can actually take those back a little bit so that they kind of, they're prominent, okay? So let's do that. And we're going to want to slope down a little bit the eye sockets. Something like this. Something like this. Actually, I didn't realize that I was sort of defining the nose as a separate part, which is not good. Okay, now that's a little better. All right, so we've kind of got the face going on here. We can make this a little bit more defined. So you can see that profile there. So let's actually make these just slightly more deeper. And then I think we'll do the eyes now. So we're going to want the eyes to go something like this. So let's just go right into it. You want them to be fairly round, if you can, okay? Then you're going to want to do sort of a V cut to define that line a little bit more. And give it sort of a roundness. Give the eyes sort of a roundness. Okay, you can kind of see that. Let's do the other side now. Make sure we're halfway decently in the same area for these eyes. Okay. Something like that. And you can do this however you want to, but I like to do this. I like to sort of make the eyes rounded, but they could be more squinty. They could be, you know, there's all types of different things they could be. Now, we're actually going to have him, I guess, talking. So what we can do is we can define that lower lip by cutting in here. And I'm going to curve it up slightly. Oh, that's messy there. Clean this up a little bit. And then we're going to want to make the chin be a little more realistic. Actually, I just noticed this could be a little less prominent. This here. So a little bit of a hooked nose, kind of a witch nose. Which isn't the best, but for our purposes, I guess it'll work. Anyway, okay. So we got the bottom of the lower lip sort of defined. And so now we need to make the chin. We're going to make the chin stick out a little bit. Let's see, let's dig away some of this and kind of round the chin, if you will. All right. You know, I don't like how big this lower lip is. So let's take that down a little bit. And we can kind of curve up the sides. So it's a little more realistic, like a lip. And if we were really getting after it, we would do some teeth, but we don't really have time for that. Okay. And you can keep refining as you go. You know, keep building in detail. Detail is it's kind of nice to really kind of dial in the details. And then, of course, you know, if you want to do pupils or something, you could do that in here. But for our purposes today, I don't think we will. And then the cheekbones. The cheekbones will, yeah, I think we'll do them today. Might as well. So let's cut this line here. And sort of define these cheekbones, and then kind of dig them out a little bit. And this could all be a little bit smoother, but this is just the general gist of things. And then we'll just cut like this. And then we can just cut away as need be. And any detail we want to make, you know, coming down here, either wrinkles or what have you, we can do that. Yeah, let's make this slightly more prominent. We got crow's feet here. And then, like I said, just add detail as you need it. Round off some of these edges here. You're not going to have such prominent edges. And we'll do the other side here in a second. But as far as a basic face, this is pretty much it. You know, these are just the main features. And you can add, you know, smiling or whatever you want to do. But this is sort of how you block out a face out of wood. And you can do this into all types of different wood. Okay, and then we'll do the other side here, the cheekbones. And then round this out, sort of like this. And like I said, you're just gonna smooth it out so that way it's more realistic looking. Make sure you have a sharp knife. A sharp knife is a clean cutting tool, and that's safer. These cuts are, you know, it's up to you how prominent you want to make them. I'm kind of exaggerating them right now. Like, you wouldn't want to go probably this wild with the cheekbones, but whatever. For our purposes, this will work. And then we can add features to it, make certain things more prominent, or, you know, make the nose, cut back the nose a little bit here. And yeah, something like this. So there it is. It's not the best, but it is workable, and it's a basic face made out of wood. So that should do it. Let me get this cut away a little bit. Thanks for watching.